Welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us in the shop. In this video, what we're making is a deck to go inside of a van. Now this van is the customer's van and it already has this double deck system, this hydraulic double deck system that goes in it, and he wants to add another layer or another deck to this van. So of course we said, yeah, no problem, we can do this. So we start with a frame that we're making. This is going to be the perimeter frame, and it's made out of 1/8 inch wall aluminum. This is 1.5 by 1.5 square tubing. And you can see we mitered all the corners, and now we're just setting it up on the table in our 90-degree clamp, and we're getting the whole thing welded out. Now we'll weld this all the way around each joint, and we'll add some support braces in the middle of it. And it'll make it super strong. It'll be perfect for what they need it to do. So welding this aluminum is a little bit different process than steel, and one of the big things that we need to remember is make sure it's super clean. So we've wiped down all the pieces with acetone. We've got them nice and clean, and then right before we weld, we just hit them with the wire brush and make sure that that joint is as clean as we can get it.
And you'll see we'll just keep
repeating this process where every way around this thing, all the way around this thing, and make sure it's welded out all the way around that. Here you see we've cut some straight pieces, and these are going to be the legs. So this deck that we're making, it's going to clamp to the existing deck inside the van, and they want to be able to take it in and out. So this thing's basically going to be kind of, well, it is going to be freestanding, and it's going to have clamps on all four corners to make it easy for them to take in and out. So that's all we're doing here is setting up these legs, making sure they're nice and straight and square, and getting them welded to that frame. Here we're just using a long bar clamp to hold that second leg to the base or the perimeter of that frame, and it makes it super easy. Once we get it clamped up, we can get it squared up, and then it'll make it super easy to weld, and we know that it's not going to move. So on top of this deck, we use this 3/4 inch plywood, and here Dan is laying down the vinyl coin deck on top of the plywood. Now we use a vinyl adhesive, and we spread it out on the piece of plywood with this trowel, and it makes a really good adhesion from the vinyl to the plywood. It's super strong, and it remains flexible for each one of them to flex with the other. Works out really good. Here on the machine, we got a piece of 090 aluminum, and what we're doing is we're just cutting out a simple backstop that's going to go on the front of this thing. So the items that they put on this deck, if they were to stop suddenly or something, they won't be able to slide off the front of the deck and into the back of the driver. So that's what we're cutting here, is basically an aluminum backstop. You can see we've added these corner braces to it, and that's just going to stiffen up the whole thing and give it some strength in the center of that too. But you can see we've also added a center brace across there, and now we're just screwing down this piece of plywood from the bottom side to the deck, and that's what's going to keep it on there. Now those are those latches I was telling you about. They're spring clamps that actually have a safety lock built into them, and there's one of those on each corner, and that's what's going to keep that, our new deck, to the existing deck. And there it is. That's a simple build for this video. You can see that the bottom deck there, it raises up hydraulically, and it exposes the very bottom deck. So this ends up being a 3-tiered system. With that top tier, like I said, the customer can remove it if he wants to. It worked out really well. He was super happy with it, and it made for a really efficient use of this fan. And that's going to wrap up this video. If you hadn't yet, go ahead and please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And thanks again for watching.